What is up, fantasy football fools? We are back again after a wild week seven, was it? Week eight, week seven.
Eight.
Halfway through week eight. We are over halfway through the
Yep.
fantasy football season. We're actually going to mix things up a little bit tonight, do things a little different. I'm gonna pass it off here to Jacob to let you guys know what we're gonna get into tonight.
All right, we're gonna do something different. We're gonna do actually power rankings. Me and Ryan's power rankings. We were gonna do this last week, halfway through the season, but schedules kind of conflicted, and we just didn't get to a podcast last week. So we're gonna do it now. I told Ryan to do a power rankings of not only past performance but also future performance, and then we're gonna give our top six projected playoff teams at the end to see kind of where we stand or where we think we stand individually and where the league stands. Because if you look at the standings right now, I mean, it is anyone's game. We got 9 teams that are over 40% playoff percentage. And then even some of these bottom teams like Rudy, I mean, I didn't rank him last in my power rankings, and he's got a really good team. I know it's 2%, but I wouldn't want to be playing him the next 5-6 weeks because that team is very, very good. But we'll kind of go off of my power rankings and then we'll kind of go into each team a little bit, talk about them, and then we'll kind of see where Ryan ranked his power rankings, and kind of at the end we'll kind of do a list of my power rankings and Ryan's power rankings, just to kind of see where we stand with that. So the first team on my power rankings that I think is number one, and it's probably no surprise to you guys because I've loved this team ever since the draft day. It's going to be James's team. I think this team is still the number one in our power rankings. They were number two in points for. They're 4-4, so not a great record. But this team, I think it has it all. It has great running backs and great receivers. AJ Brown's out right now, and he has Jaden Daniels, who's questionable when he comes back. I think he's still a top 5 quarterback. New laptop. Sorry, I'm using Cassidy's laptop. But I just think this team is the most complete team. I thought that ever since week one. Um, where do you have him in your power rankings, Ryan?
So, non-controversially, I also have James at number one, actually.
There we go.
I think this is a very well-rounded team, and we talk about it every year. Like running backs is one of the hardest positions to come by, and this guy has a three-headed attack that I mean, you really can't beat it. I mean, it's a pretty solid team all around, and yeah, I don't see how you could get this one different. I mean, this is just a well-rounded team as far as teams overall, even though he's 4-4.
Yeah, it's crazy to think he's 4-4, and then when Jaden Daniel comes back, he'll have Debo with the stack. And then Judkins got hurt, but like you add him if he's healthy, that's another RB1. I mean, he's just got just a really deep team, and sitting at 4-4, that's really good to have for him, because he needs wins. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, everybody needs wins, but if you're sitting at that 3-5 or 4-4, you kind of think, because I'm 4-4, you kind of think like every week you need to win. So I don't know who he plays this week, but yeah, I mean, I just thought this team has been the best team, and I'm curious on what his losses have been. I know he just got blown out by Jeff, but he had a pretty bad week. But we'll go to the number two person on my power ranking, which I'm curious to know who your number two is. But mine is Jimmy's. It's Jimmy's team. Where do you have Jimmy's team?
I have Jimmy at number four.
Number four. So top four team. I mean, I feel like I've been pretty high on this team compared. I mean, you haven't been low on this team, but you haven't been as high as I've been. But I think with Patrick Mahomes has cemented himself as a top 3 quarterback. I mean, he's number one right now. And then just the addition of Rashee Rice and George Kittle, who has been out since week one. I think he played 2 weeks ago. He got a goose egg, but I think he got a touchdown last week. I think this team, maybe not the best team right now, like not maybe, I don't know how to say that, but I think his team is just getting better and better each week, and he's going to be a very strong team come playoff time.
Yeah, I think this team is on the rise. He's definitely trending up. I don't know that I was as high on this team at the beginning of the season, but he stacked up enough wins with Rashee Rice's suspension, and then when he came back, and Patrick Mahomes has been playing like Patrick Mahomes is a great real life quarterback. He's not always been the best fantasy quarterback, but this year he is obviously playing great fantasy quarterback. He's doing lot more rushing, I feel like, this year than he normally does, which is getting him just so many points. And the stack of Mahomes and Rice on this team when he's already sitting at 5-3, like this is a really good team. Like I said, trending up for sure. And no doubt about it, I think a top five team, and I have him number four. But that Scatabo injury is
Yep.
actually the only reason that I dropped him out of the. I had him at first in the number two spot, or two or three, and I dropped him out after I remembered that Scatabo got hurt. That's definitely a hit to his running back room. But if JCM can turn it around, then yeah, this is definitely a scary team.
Yeah, and Jinji, I don't think it has been that great this year. Or not, I think he was a top. I think he was a first round pick. Um,
The Raiders are just bad. They're
yeah,
just so
they're just
bad.
bad. I mean, the running backs do scare me, but I mean, I don't know how long Puka's going to be injured or if he's coming back next week. You just never know with Puka. But Devontae Adams is a great wide receiver one. Rasheed Rice is a receiver one, and London's a receiver one. That's a great three-headed monster receiver. And then Patrick Mahomes is just playing lights out at quarterback. So this is a good team. There's a lot of good teams, but I've been high on Jimmy and James all year, and I'm keeping the trend. Those two teams. I think I still have to. No, I already played Jimmy. I still have to play James, but um, two teams I wouldn't want to see in the next 5 6 weeks. So we'll go to the number three team, and it's funny because my first two teams are both in Chris's division. But we'll get our first. Well, my first team in Jeff's division. I am going with number three is Chewy's team. Where do you put Chewy's team?
Chewy's team. I have number five.
Number five. So we got a little gap in these. What do you think about Chewy's team? Why'd you put him five?
I think Chewy's team started off real hot and he's been going the other direction. I think he does still have a really good team. This is obviously, I think, putting him at number five, I obviously still think this is a team that is likely going to make the playoffs. But I do think he's dropped a little bit. Just his team's been kind of up and down. But Jonathan Taylor, RB1, that dude's been playing unbelievable this year. Like, might win MVP if he keeps up this pace. His quarterback situation isn't ideal. I mean, Kyler's been hurt, but also Kyler's still not that great when he plays. CJ Stroud is very inconsistent. The Texans' offense is just hard to watch sometimes,
It's very hard.
especially when you got Nico out.
Yeah.
I don't love the quarterback spot there, but he's got two incredible receivers and Jonathan Taylor, so I think that could carry him pretty far. But just I think outside of those three guys, the rest of the team surrounding this isn't quite as in that top tier, so that's why I put him at number five.
Yeah, I mean Jonathan Taylor. I mean, if you have him on the team, you're already considered like a top six team at least. Because I mean, this guy's been lights out,
Yeah,
like
he
you
could
said.
carry your team to a victory by himself.
Yeah, by himself.
27 points average. Like that's
Yeah,
insane.
that's crazy. I do agree though. I mean, he did start off hot, and he's got three really good players with Taylor Brown and Jackson Smith, all just playing lights out. 2-4, and then Jonathan was or Taylor's one. It is going to depend on those other guys kind of stepping up. If Chewy wants to make it not only to the playoffs, but as a championship team, those secondary guys will have to step up. But I mean, you do have Kamara on the bench. I mean, I know what's his name got tore his ACL, the second running back in the on the Saints
Kendra
team.
Miller.
Yeah, so he's gone. So Kamara, I mean, when did that happen? A couple weeks ago, maybe
I think last week.
last week. So not a great day at Tampa, and they just switched quarterbacks. I mean, that Saints offense is
Yeah, and I
not
think
good.
that's kind of why I didn't have him in like my top three is just because yeah, the surrounding pieces around his top three guys are kind of like it's a I don't know. You're kind of
Right.
getting It could be a week to week thing, a matchup thing. It just depends if his other surrounding players play good enough, this team is great. If they don't, then he's just got three superstars that are going to probably drop 90 themselves or 70 themselves, and his other guys got to just put up like 50. And that's just the unknown of this team, I feel like.
That's a great point. I actually agree with that. I'm not going to put him down in my rankings, but that's a great point. And we'll see how Chewy's. I mean, Chewy started off. Wasn't he like 4-0? Was he 4-0? Like, or maybe 5-1, and he's churned out a couple losses in a row. I think. Let's go back to the
I think
standings.
he was 3-0. I think he started 3-0 and then lost. But yeah, he definitely started out really hot. Like I said,
Yeah.
he has kind of been trending down a little bit. He's on a 3 game losing streak. So yeah, like he's got a great core, but he just needs those surrounding guys to pick up a little bit of slack.
Yeah, he's actually leading the league in points, and that's probably why I put him, top three, because I think if you're leading the league in points, you're doing something right. I didn't put him in my top two spots, but I thought he deserved the three spot. Um, we'll go to my fourth team, which we'll see how Ryan views his own team because I have his team at number four. I think the biggest thing with this team, though, I suspect Bucky Irving to come back after the bye. If Bucky Irving does not come healthy after the bye, I think your team goes down a couple spots. But I'm going to say Bucky comes back, and I think this makes a top four team.
Yeah, I have my team at number three, actually. I
Okay.
was really torn between me and Jimmy. I was gonna put myself at four, but I like just trying to be completely unbiased. Like, if my team can get healthy, I think I have definitely a top four, top three team. So I put myself at three. There's probably just a hint of bias that bumped me up that one spot over Jimmy. But yeah, if I can get Bucky back and my guys can get healthy, then I really feel good about this team. And then especially like if I can get Trey Benson back on top of that too, to put him in my flex, like I I think this team is going to be back to hopefully where I was the first 4 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, you look at your flex right now. I know you got a couple injuries, well, a bye and a Buka, but you probably sit Marvin for trade depending on how healthy he is or how if he gets ramped up or not. But yeah, this team. I'm glad I saw this team last week with like 20 buys. I still almost lost,
One
but
bad start, man.
yeah, bad start, gotcha. Which is good for me because I needed that dub. But no, I think this is a great team. I think Drake May is probably a great was a great pick. I think you got him maybe in like the 10th round or something like that. And he's a top five, top three quarterback. Um, you were very high on him, 8th round, close enough. So far, that was a good pick. And I feel like me and you have always waited on quarterback. I don't think we've ever really reached for a quarterback in the first like 4 rounds. And to find like a top three quarterback in the 8th round, that just catapults your team so much. Because when I had my very good team, I picked Lamar Jackson in the 10th round. So I had all these guys, in the first 4 or 5 rounds that were hitting, and then you add on a top, quarterback of that year. I mean, your team just is so dangerous when you can hit like that with your quarterback.
Yeah, I think that's huge. Like I feel like sometimes we talk all about the running backs, how important that is, and receivers obviously, but like having a good quarterback week in and week out is massive, even though Drake May lost me one of my losses versus Chris. But other than that, like he's been such a stud. And yeah, I really do feel like if I can just get this team healthy, that I can make a big push for the playoffs.
No, I agree with you. It's probably one of your better teams that you've had ever in fantasy, except that one year where me and you had the two best teams, and I just beat you in the
Yeah,
championship. But
yeah,
this
that's
this
definitely
team
up there.
definitely like it's on par with that, especially if you get healthy. So okay, so we'll go to. I hate how this doesn't do that. We'll go to the fifth team. And another kind of injury riddled team that I suspect to get healthy is my 5 spot. If it doesn't get healthy, I think this team is actually maybe more towards the bottom, and that's going to be Dom's team. So I'm assume Puka's healthy, and I'm gonna assume Garrett Wilson gets healthy. I know he's out this week, but this team has been pretty, I don't know if I want to say inconsistent or good. I think maybe both. But if you look at these running backs, I mean, he needs these wide receivers to get healthy. Brian Thomas was probably the worst pick of the first round. If he needs to get right too. But Puka has been very good with the games. I mean, he's averaging 23. He just hasn't played every single game. Well, he missed part of that Baltimore game, and then he missed the Jacksonville game. But I'm assuming he gets back after this bye. I think it was just like an ankle sprain, so I don't think it's too serious.
Yeah,
But
it sounds
Puka
like
just
he's coming back.
changes this team. I think Puka's, the number one wide receiver. He can get you a 30 ball easily. And you just need everyone else to kind of the supporting cast to kind of help you out just a little bit. And he has Jalen Hurts on the bench. Well, he's got a bye. So he has actually a really good quarterback as well. I know he's playing Trevor Lawrence here. But I like Dom's team, but it's kind of like you. I like your team even with your little injuries. But with Dom, he really needs to get healthy if he wants to make a run at this. So what ranking did you have with Dom? I feel like I might be a little high on Dom, but I'm curious to see where you put him.
This is going to be probably our biggest discrepancy here. I have Dom at number 9 on
No,
my list.
number 9.
I do think Dom's team is solid. He's got a couple dogs on this team, Jalen Hurts and Puka. But outside of that, I mean, Brian Thomas has been terrible this year. He's wide receiver 35. I mean, Tyler Warren has been a great grab at the tight end spot. I
He
think
has been.
that was an awesome draft pick by Dom. But yeah, just outside of those three guys, this is like kind of on par with what I was saying with Chewy's team, but I feel like Chewy's, even his supporting cast around his three superstars is like a little better than this. Like these running backs and we'll see what Tyrone Tracy does with Scatabo out now,
Yeah.
but Tony Pollard at your RB1, like Tyrone Tracy on just a questionable Giants offense now with no Scatabo. I don't know. This team, he could do it, but I don't know. I don't have as much faith in this one that it sounds like you do. I do not have him top 5. But
Yeah.
yeah, got him number 9.
I like Wilson at that wide receiver too. Of course, he's out right now, so it's kind of because I said to do past and future. So I know injuries are a little tough to where do we put injured guys? Garrett Wilson, I don't think has a serious injury. He just, he's out this week. But you put Garrett Wilson wide receiver 2. Brian Thomas has been bad, but as a flex, I mean, he's a really good flex wide receiver, to be honest. And then the Tyrone Tracy stash, I really like. I think he will catapult. I mean, he was a starter before he got hurt. Then Scatabo took off. But yeah, the running backs aren't my favorite. Jalen Hurts is a top 3 quarterback. Yeah, top 3 quarterback. And Tyler Warren, like I said, like the quarterback in that tight end position, when you have really steady, good guys, it just changes the dynamic of your team. And adding Puka to that dynamic, I just think this team is still one of the better teams in at least the top half of our league. But I could say this probably to every team, but he needs to get healthy really fast because is he 5-3? 5-3, so he's got some time. I know the 4-4 teams are a little doesn't have as much time, but we'll see where Dom is. That's interesting. I'm sure we'll have a couple more discrepancies like that, but that was what a four team swing.
4 spots, yeah.
That's
yeah. I don't know. I don't have a lot of stock in Garrett Wilson either, to be honest. Like just that Jets offense is another one that's just so bad, and it looks like Justin Fields is going to be starting for a while, which means they're just going to be a run heavy offense. Like Garrett Wilson has done okay, I think, with Fields in there, but like that offense just stinks. So we'll see, but yeah, I'm not quite as high on Dom's team, but I certainly wouldn't say that like he doesn't have a chance. I think he's at least got a shot to make a run.
Yeah. All right, so we'll go to the 6th team, which is going to be the top half of our league, and I'm curious where you have this guy because he probably will not make the playoffs, but this team is very good, and I do not want to see this team in the next 5-6 weeks and that's going to be Rudy's team. I think Rudy's team is very good. Everybody is healthy now, and this team is scary. Where do you have Rudy's team?
I have Rudy at 8,
8.
so
Okay,
just
so
two
not too
spots
far
below
from
you.
me.
Yep.
But I mean, this team, you look at this team, and he's got, um, I was like, where's CD Lamb? He's got CD Lamb and DK, but James Cook and Derrick Henry is a disgusting RB duo. I know Kyron Williams hasn't been that great this year, but he's still, I'm going to say this like I said with Brian Thomas, he's still a really good flex. I mean, 13th running back position, that's actually still pretty good. But he had one really big game that kind of probably skewed that. But I mean, this team has the name value. Travis Kelce, he's been all right. He had a really good game last week, top 5 tight end.
You can see
But
the ranks on the main page there.
oh, there you go. Yeah, I can't. Sorry, but it has name value, and I mean, it's a good team. It sucks that he started off 0-7 because if he was like 3-5 or even 2-6, I would have this guy probably in our playoffs with a 6-man playoff. But the fact that he's started 0-7 and is now 1-7, I think it's just too far of a climb for him to get in there. But if he
Yeah.
gets in there, this team actually might win it all if he could get in there.
Yeah, I mean, and if he wins out or maybe one more, see, I don't know, 8 losses,
It's hard.
that's tough to make the playoffs, but if he wins out, he has got a decent shot to make it, especially with the fact that our league is also tight knit right now with
It
everybody's
is.
record. I do think this is a really good team. I think the 1-7 record probably influenced me putting him just a little lower. But I do have him at 8, so like I have him ahead of 4 other teams because I do think this is a really solid squad that he's got here. Derrick Henry has been kind of not that great this year, but he has had a good last couple games. So we'll see if he can kind of turn things around now. It's with Lamar coming back too. We'll see what kind of impact that has. But he's actually played better without Lamar than he was when Lamar was in there.
Mhm.
So not sure what kind of impact that's going to have. But yeah, I mean, all around, this is a really good team. And like you said, I don't really want to see this team. I do have to see him again, I think, in a couple weeks, which isn't great. First time I played him, he put up like 140 and I put up like 145 or something. So like it was a very high scoring game. I don't want to have to be in that position again to be dropping that many points. But yeah, I think this is a really good team, and it's a bummer that his record, he started out 0-7. That's crazy.
Yeah, I think. I mean, to me, he has three guys that can single handedly win you a week, which is Derrick Henry, James Cook, and CeeDee Lamb. I mean, and those guys can easily put up a 35-40 in any given week, and I mean that's scary when you got three guys like that. I mean, I don't even think my team has one. I mean, I guess you can say Achan could do that, but like some teams don't even have one. Like we'll see a couple teams that don't even have one, and to have three of those guys, I think is great. So I mean, I'm pulling for Rudy. I think I see him the last week before the play in games that we do or the whatever round that we do at the last week of the season. But I think I see him like week 13. So we'll see. I'm pulling for him. I hope he wins out, and I hope he makes a good run. But I just don't see it. But it is interesting to see him. And the trades he's done has actually worked out. He just needed everyone healthy, and that was the problem. He just didn't. He just kind of ran out of time. But he still has time. But he's definitely going low on time.
Yeah, I definitely think that trade he made with Chris was definitely in his benefit, which has helped him to get CeeDee Lamb on that team. But yeah, I don't know. It's a big hole to have to climb out of, so we'll see if he can do it.
So we'll go to the bottom half of the league that I have power ranked, and I started myself out at number 7. I had a really tough time with me and Jeff. So of course I'll spoiler alert, Jeff. I have Jeff at the 8 spot, and I actually played Jeff this week. So it's a really big week. We're both 4-4. Jeff's, I think, one of the hottest teams in the league. I think he's got a 3 or 4 game win streak, but I had to put myself there just because I can add a little bias to my own power rankings. But I put myself at 7. Where'd you put my team?
I also have you at 7.
Look at us. Look at
And funny
us.
enough, I have Jeff at 6. So like I had
Oh,
you guys. I that was actually one of my tougher ones to decipher between. I was really going back and forth with you guys. Ended up putting Jeff at 6 and then you at 7. But I think you guys are like neck and neck.
no, I agree. And we play each other this week. He's got some bad buys, so I'm catching him on a bad bye week as well. So hopefully I can pull this out. But I think, I mean, I looked at both teams. It's not that I was too biased, but I think with the addition of Vidal kind of owning that backfield, the Chargers, it's easy to slot him in the RB2 spot now. And I'll have Nico coming back from IR. I don't know. I think I have kind of more of a well-rounded team than Jeff. I mean, it's not, we're not just comparing our two teams, but in my head, I have more well-rounded team. So we'll see how this week goes. I don't know if I love my team. I can see the potential of my team. And, we talked about, having a really good quarterback. This is probably the first year I ever had a really, really good quarterback that, is supposed to be really, really good. Just seeing Josh Allen just really makes me smile. But um, it just, I don't know. I don't know if I love it. My receivers have been kind of not great. I mean, Nico hasn't been great. Cortland's been up and down. T. Higgins only got one catch when the Bengals scored like 50 points yet last week. So,
And you
so it's
still
just
won.
crazy. Like, I don't, and I, yeah, exactly. But it's just, I don't know how I feel about my team. I'm in this little thing that, I'm not great. I'm not bad, but I can win, against any team. It's just, I don't know. It's
Yeah,
hard to
this is
explain how I
it's
feel
kind of
about my
like
team.
it's like an any given week kind of team. Like you just never know, especially like you never know what you're gonna get out of Ramondre Stevenson and Travion Henderson got like more carries last week than he has the entire year combined before
Well,
that.
mm-hmm.
So we'll be interested to see how that backfield shakes out going forward. But yeah, I mean your RB1 and RB2 are pretty solid for as long as Hampton's out for the Chargers. Josh Allen, actually funny, I'm looking at this because Bo Nix is higher ranked right now than Josh Allen, which is kind of funny. But nonetheless, like obviously, Josh Allen should finish above Bo Nix by
Right.
the end of the year. I think Josh Allen's when the James Cook ball out games have kind of, I think, taken Josh Allen's stock a little down because they've just been running the ball for those games, but he's been going off. But I mean, I do think it's a solid team. I definitely think you're in the mix. I think you have obviously a shot at the playoffs at 4-4 if your guys can, you know, kind of rally here.
You can
The
rally, right?
Bengals, I don't know what's going to happen with the Bengals offense because Joe Flacco got hurt last week. So T. Higgins, I don't know, but that also, like we were talking about, Jeff's team has some impact on Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I think you went Broncos heavy this year, and obviously Bo Nix is on your bench now, but Cortland Sutton's kind of been up and down. Tight end spot, that's kind of a question mark.
Yeah, I
But
mean, got Njoku. It's tough. I mean, I traded Laporta, which probably hindsight I should have kept, but I mean, Stevenson isn't bad. I've only played it. I didn't play him last week, and was really bad last week. So, but Bo Nix hasn't had a bye, so that's probably why he's ranked ahead of Josh Allen. Josh Allen already had his bye. Um,
that's
but Cade
true.
Otton, I feel like he's a sneaky tight end with all those injuries in the Tampa Bay,
I
but
mean,
he
he's
hasn't really.
definitely not
Yeah,
bad. He's
yeah.
just not.
I like Cade
Obviously,
Otton.
he's not like the elite guy. I think he's
No,
better than your Browns tight end just because the Browns offense is not great. But I think this team has good bones for sure. And I definitely wouldn't say like, oh, you're not making the playoffs. Like I think you, like I said, you have a shot. I had you right here on the outside of like the top six. So yeah, I think anyone within like the top 8 spots, I feel like has a chance.
yeah, we just need a rally. I feel like my team hasn't put in like a good consecutive 2 weeks or 3 weeks. It's been, win one, lose one, win one, lose one. And you can tell that because I'm 4-4, which a lot of people are. But I think I've literally went loss, win, loss, win, loss, win. So I'm actually due for a loss this week because I beat you last week. So hopefully that's not the case. But we'll go to Jeff's team. I have Jeff at 8. Ryan said he had Jeff at 6. So this team, I mean, the lineup isn't as good as the team portrays because he has Brees Hall, Rashad White, depending on what happens with Bucky Irvin, and Dallas Goedert on a bye. Well, usually pretty much Brees Hall's on a bye, so that's about it. But other than that, if you put Brees Hall in where Pacheco is, and maybe switch out Quentin Johnston because I don't think he was looked at last week. But if he figures out that flex, I think this team is pretty good. I was going to say very good, but I'm going to say pretty good. Jamar Chase can win you a week. We saw that probably last week or 2 weeks ago whenever he dropped like 50 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And Swift has actually been kind of sneaky. I know the RB2 has been getting a couple more carries every game, but he's an RB1 when it comes to positional rank. This was a really good and kind of a sneaky trade that he had with James. He gave up Ladd McConkey, who hasn't really had that great of a year. He's kind of been picking it up a little bit more lately, but that was a good trade by Jeff. Looking back at it, because that solidified RB2 for him, and I feel like that's given him. I think that's just given this team a pretty big boost. He was 1-4, and to spit out 3 wins, I think, and I think I said this already. He's one of the hottest teams in the league or as of right now.
Well, I think the biggest thing that happened for him was Bucky Irving going down because having that Rashad White in there has
Yeah.
definitely helped boost the team a little bit. But yeah, I mean, Jeff's been hot. We'll see what happens with Pacheco. It looks like he's going to be out this week. So we'll see how long that might linger, which with having Brees Hall on a bye, that's not going to be great. Not sure who he's going to plug into that. I guess Tyler Algier maybe into that RB2 spot. But yeah, so we'll see how that goes for him this week. But yeah, I mean, Jeff is trending in the right direction. And again, I mentioned Joe Flacco got hurt. So if they go back to Jake Browning, Jamar Chase goes back to
Goes
wide
down.
receiver 3, and this team might take a bit of a tumble.
Yeah.
But as of right now, like if ever, with all things considered, like if those offenses can stay intact and healthy, then I do think Jeff's team is solid here. Like I said, I had you and him kind of like neck and neck on the 6 and 7 spot, so I got you guys kind of like right there in line in the playoff mix. But yeah, I think Jeff, like looking at this team, needs some things to go right. That Jets offense is definitely going to have to keep hot because Brees Hall's had some down weeks this year too, with that offense being so duty balls. Um, and we'll see what happens. I do think Jeff needs some things to go in his favor for this team to stay as good as they've been the last 3 weeks that he's been on this streak.
Yeah, he's got a lot of question marks. Like you said, Brees Hall's offense season is really bad. Jamar Chase quarterback situation can really drag him down. And even when I said, Swift is kind of giving up carries to RB2 a little bit more. He's definitely got more risk, I think, from my team. I think he's got a more risky team, but that could also be a good thing depending on, when they want to turn it on or not. So, still a very good team. Jeff's definitely pulled himself out of the gutter, and he's back in the race at 4-4. So we'll actually go to what is this for me? This is the 9th team, who's actually been, I think, one of the most surprising teams. I think I still see, that's why one of the reasons why I have him still lower in the power rankings, but he's got, he keeps winning, and that's going to be Nick's team. Actually, the next 2 teams are kind of like this, but I have Nick at number 9. Where do you have Nick?
I have Nick at 10.
10. Okay. How do you feel about Nick? Why do you got him so low when he's 5-3?
I think he has definitely had some really good weeks recently. He started off really bad. I mean, his team looked really bad at the beginning of the season, but they have definitely been turning things around. They've looked good. Justin Herbert's been playing pretty lights out the last couple of weeks. Tucker Kraft is tight end 2.
Yeah.
Keenan Allen, I think, has had a better year than I think most of us probably expected, being a top 10 wide receiver. And then Bam Knight has been the Cardinals' running back 1 since Trey Benson went down. So that was also a good snag off the waiver wire. But I think my thought here is that this team is going to run out of steam. That is my future prediction for this team. That is why I have him a little lower in the ranks. I do still think he has a shot at playoffs. They certainly could stay hot. This is all speculation, obviously, in my own opinion, but I think this team is. I don't know if it's got the longevity of keeping it hot.
No, yeah, I agree with that. I just, yeah, I feel like it's like, I think this goes with what you're saying, just kind of the name value of the guys he has. You pointed out Keenan Allen, who's had a very surprising year, Tucker Kraft. I don't know.
All right, sorry about that. Video cut out for us, but we were you were just in the middle of talking about next team here.
Yeah, so I was just gonna say, I was just saying, I kind of agree with you with running out of steam. This team just doesn't have the name value that you kind of expect the top teams to have, which isn't a bad thing. It just makes it harder for probably us to put him any higher. But I was also saying that I don't know how long he's had Chase McLaughlin, but having the number two defense and the number two kicker in the league, I think makes a huge difference and probably one of the reasons why Nick's team has stayed afloat. I haven't really seen the schedule and how how much he's won by, but just having top two um, players at their position. I know it's probably like a low position, like you don't really think of the defense and kicker, but they sometimes make a huge difference in games. And to have two top twos makes a real big difference in my eyes. But he also has Devontae Smith on a bye. You probably put him somewhere in this lineup. He's actually been doing really well the last 2-3 weeks. When Jalen Hurts has actually been throwing the ball, he's been thrown to more than AJ Brown. So if there's one Philly receiver I'd want, it's Devontae Smith. So this team's good. It's just I'm not scared when I play them, but when I played him 2 weeks ago, he dropped like 150. So maybe I should be scared. I don't know.
Yeah, I know we're saying all this, and like I play him this week, so he's probably gonna drop like 175 on my face. But yeah, I mean, you can see that he does have some tough bye weeks with Devontae Smith and Chase out being those top two guys, and so hopefully that'll help me this week. But yeah, I think this team is solid if he can keep mustering up these wins that he has been recently. He's definitely got a shot at the playoffs. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, I don't know. I just couldn't find other teams to put below him. And that's why I have him. What did I say? I had him at
10.
10.
Yeah, and I agree. And this is another guy. The next person on the list is going to probably shock you. I wonder where you have him,
I know
but
who it is because
it's
I've been wondering when you're going to bring him up because I have him up at the top.
it's Johnny's team. I think Johnny's team has just been incredibly lucky. I don't even know.
Whoa.
It's just
Shots fired.
his team is not that good. Especially when CD Lamb come back. George Pickens was really good without CD Lamb, and he's actually been solid with him back the last 2 weeks. But he hasn't been, shell of himself with the 30 balls and 17s here. I think he got hurt on that Bears game. So I don't know. I look at this team and Brock Byers does come back, but I think Michael Mayer has been all right for him. Depends on how Brock Byers is, but Terry McLaurin has been, hurt as well. Aaron Jones comes back. He's been hurt, the last 4 or 5 weeks. I don't see the vision on this team, and it's crazy for me to say that because Christian McCaffrey's been Christian McCaffrey he's been really good. Dak's been really good. I don't like Chris Olave. I just don't like that Saints offense, especially with the new quarterback that they just announced. I think Olave takes a hit there. I don't know. This is another one with Nick. I paired him with Nick, and I actually like Nick's team better. It's just I just can't see. I think this team runs out of gas, and I don't know. I don't know. I think I want to like this team, but I just don't. So where do you have Johnny placed?
I have Johnny at number 2.
Oh wow! So this is our biggest difference.
This is our biggest difference. I have Johnny ranked number 2. This guy has been doing nothing but dropping hella points. He is averaging 130 points a game. on his fantasy team. He has 6 out of his 9 players as top 10 at their position. I just I don't know how you look at this team and don't have him top five at least. Like I was not super I don't think I was super high on this team coming into the year either, but like I just feel like what he's done so far throughout the season has been kind of undeniable and he just keeps doing it. And now he's about to get Brock Bowers back at some point. Like that's just going to add to this team overall. And when you're already dropping 130 a week without the potential at least a top three, probably tight end in the league. Like, I guess given that offense, maybe not quite that high. Like the Raiders are so ass, but like he's Brock Bowers. He's gonna be good. Like if he's healthy. This team, like this is just a well-rounded team. Like these are not guys that I was coming into the season super high on either, but like they just like Chris Olave just keeps putting up points. The guy doesn't get 150 yards, but he gets 15 catches a game. Like it's crazy. Like, okay, not 15, that was an exaggeration, but you know what I mean. Um, so yeah, like I just think as much like I almost don't want to like this team, but I can't not like it because it just keeps proving itself as being one of the best.
Yeah, I think that's the. I mean, I just don't like the offenses of these guys. Brock Byers, even when he was healthy, I mean, Vegas is just so bad. I think he
Well,
played.
I don't
Yeah, I
think
mean,
he's been healthy this year. That's the thing. Like after week one, which is when he got whatever he's been dealing with,
yeah.
I don't think he's actually truly played healthy since the first week of the season. So if he does come back truly healthy, that's where I think that bolsters this team even higher than it already is.
But so, I mean, that offense is really bad. I mean, Olave's
True.
offense is pretty bad. I mean, even Jacksonville stalls out. I mean, I hate watching the Jags play. That offense is very bad. I mean, they're not bad, but they're very aggravating. And Travis Etienne is the RB1, so I mean, he's going to get his touches, but they just don't move the ball well. Christian McCaffrey, I mean, that 49ers team is going downhill. He probably gets Purdy back here soon, but he hasn't been bad with Mac Jones by any means. But he put up his first dud last week. But just that offense is going down. I mean, they lost to like their two best defensive guys too, so that could help. You know, they're going to need to score more. But I just think the 49ers just aren't that great of a team. So I think that's probably why I look at the. I mean, the Commanders, they're good, but they're not like elite, and there's a lot of mouths to feed in Washington. I just look at the teams that these guys are on, and I don't like them. I just don't like them, which just kind of makes me think that this team will run out of gas. And he has been very good. And I wanted to throw a curveball in there. And I feel like Nick and Johnny both are pretty curveballs, but I think this one is my biggest curveball. Um, I can't like it. I don't know why. I just don't like it.
See, and I don't want to like it, but I like it. I do. And he's got the best kicker in the league. Like that always counts for something. I mean, that guy's going to get you points. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like I don't want to like this team, but I have no choice, and I had no choice but to put him at number two because like I couldn't even put myself ahead of him because he's just been dropping so many points. Like it's just like I said, it's undeniable.
Yeah, I think my argument is he'll run out of steam like yours was with Knicks. And we'll see. It's going to be interesting. He does play Chris next week, which is actually the next person on my list, which is the 11th. I have Chris at 11. Where do you have Chris?
I have Chris at the rock bottom 12.
Wow, you think this team is worse than Lubasi's?
I have Chris at rock bottom 12. And I think the reason that I put him above Lubasi is because Lubasi's team proved to me last week that they can score points.
I
And
mean, this team can score points.
I agree that this team can score points. I just think Lubasi's team has a slight edge on having more potential, and he's also got a Marion Hampton who's going to come back at some point in the next couple weeks, probably.
I think I read that he's not supposed to come back to like week 12, I think, which is another like 3 or 4 weeks.
Oh, I did
I think
not
he
read
got,
that same article, so
I
that
think it was a
might,
little bit more serious than people thought, but he was still in
well,
like a
like
walking boot.
like I said with you and Jeff, how I kind of had you guys neck and neck. This putting whoever I was going to put in the last place spot was really a toss up between Chris and Lubasi. I gave Lubasi that slight edge, but I think they're both right there. Either way, obviously we have these guys at 11 and 12, so
Right.
it's not been a super great season for these guys regardless. But let's hear what your thoughts are here on Chris's team.
I mean, Chris's team definitely has more name value than Lubasi's. I know we're not supposed to, probably shouldn't compare him to Lubasi's, but I can't believe you have Lubasi at not 12. But I'm gonna do a prediction here. I mean, I look at this team and you see a lot of greens on the opponent ranks. I'm gonna just say it now. I think he beats Johnny this week. I'm gonna give a bold prediction this week. He beats Johnny. Um, but he does have like the name value. Justin Jefferson. I hate the one thing I really hate about this team, and I probably shouldn't hate because they actually done pretty well together on the same team. Is he plays Jefferson and Addison, and that's just like crazy to me that he plays two receivers on the same team, and their offense is not good. Like the Vikings' offense sucks. Like Wentz is bad, and McCartney's even worse. So it's crazy that it's probably more crazy that it's actually kind of worked. But I just hate visually seeing that. But
Yeah,
Justin Jeff,
I
no, go
agree
ahead.
with that. I was
Yeah,
just gonna say I agree with that. The like you said too, like the Vikings offense is not good. And Carson Wentz was Carson Wentz, and now Carson Wentz is out for the season, and
yeah,
JJ is going to be coming back. JJ looked horrible when he wasn't playing the Chicago Bears.
in the
So
second half. Yeah,
I I don't know, like those are like kind of his shining stars on this team, or at least Justin Jefferson is. And if JJ comes back from his injury and just fizzles out and plays like a rookie quarterback that doesn't know what he's doing, like I just don't think this team has a lot of juice. David Montgomery, like as your RB2, like he's a backup and he's one of the better backups in the league, don't get me wrong, but he's a backup, and those can always those numbers are going to be inconsistent all the time. Like I know he gets a lot of goal line work, and so some weeks he's going to have really good weeks, like he did versus me. I think he put up like 25, of course. And some weeks he's going to put up like 5 or 6, or less than 10. So yeah, exactly. So yeah, and then Chase Brown on that Bengals offense that again, like we've talked about the Bengals offense, don't know what that's going to look like now that Joe Flacco is I think he's day to day, so he might still play, but even so, like Chase Brown hasn't been that good this year. He's gotten a
he does.
little better the last couple weeks, but this team just doesn't do it for me. Like I don't know. I just don't think like he's obviously I think at the bottom in points, he's at the bottom in record. So all things considered, I think him and Lubasi are a easy shoe in for like a debate on who is the worst team in the league, right?
No, I agree, and I was just gonna say we dodged a bullet. Both of us dodged a bullet on Chase Brown because we were extremely high on him
Yeah.
pre-draft, and you even almost traded for him. I think after the draft. So,
I almost made the
um,
worst trade of my entire life. The beginning before the season even started, Bucky Irving almost got traded for Chase Brown. It was, oh my God, that would have been so bad.
that would have been really bad. So we did try. I mean, I almost picked Brown over Achan. I was just shocked Achan fell to me. So I mean, I scooped him up. But if Achan didn't, I would have definitely picked Brown. But it was funny. It's not funny to Chris probably, but he chose Chase Brown over I think Jonathan Taylor, or maybe Jonathan Taylor was picked and then Achan. No, I don't know. I actually want to look at that actually, but I'll do it later. But I think Chase Brown was picked before Jonathan Taylor because I know Jonathan Taylor wasn't picked till like the end of round two, um, and me and Chris were in the middle of round two. But I agree. I mean, this team. I mean, it looks. The thing is, it doesn't look bad. It just is bad, or has been bad. Like you look at this team pre-draft or like first week, you're like, wow, this is actually a really good team, and it just hasn't worked out this year. And he's got DJ Moore on the bench. Um, he's
Yeah,
still
I
got
think
Michael.
he just, yeah, Michael Carter just got cut today.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just kind of look at this team, and certainly injuries play a factor into the things that have gone wrong there,
Oh, John.
especially with, oh, yeah, that's exactly like you said it.
Hmm.
Um, especially with Joe Burrow going down. I think that hurt that Bengals offense just across the board, obviously. So
Oh
Chase Brown's value pretty much took a hit after week one. Um, but yeah, that team is just not it's not doing it. It just doesn't, like I said, it doesn't have juice right now. And we'll see if JJ McCarthy can pump up that Vikings offense and that maybe makes Jefferson and Addison even better. But I don't know. I don't see the vision there with Chris's team moving forward. I'm wondering if he's kicking himself for getting rid of CeeDee Lamb, but we'll see.
yeah, we'll see. I mean, Justin Jefferson isn't bad, but CeeDee Lamb probably is definitely a little better, just with the quarterback situation. But we'll go to the final team, which I have as number 12. And I think Ryan might have gotten duped from last week, thinking this guy's actually not number 12. But I don't know how you look at this team and you don't think it is a bad team. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Saquon is Saquon. He hasn't actually been good this year. Um, at least Justin Jefferson has been good, albeit just had bad quarterback play. But even looking at this team, he's got Zach Charbonnet, who's at RB2 as his RB1, and he's got two RB2s in his two running backs, which Rico Dowell should probably be RB1. But I mean, they like Chuba a lot. So they're going to be splitting carries. Zach's going to be splitting carries. So you don't have a true workhorse. And Rome Odunze has been terrible the last month of the season, or the last month. Yeah, last month of the season.
He did good last
And
week. All right.
his shining grace is this tight end that he just like scooped off of waivers that scored 18 points for him. I don't know. I don't know how you can think this team isn't the worst team. I just don't. I don't see it.
I think it's close. I just like I
It's not
said,
close.
I
It's
think
not
it's
close.
close. Actually, it's funny. Now that I'm looking at this, like you might be swaying me. You might
It's
be right. I might owe Chris's team an apology for doing that because this is this is bad. That like looking at this is hurting my eyes. But I think like just to go back to the trade that Ubasi made, like he is like these Seahawks running backs is not the problem you want to have. Like it's great to get both of them because if one of them gets hurt, you got a shoe in for an RB1. But if they're both healthy, that is the most frustrating backfield in the league probably. And you're seeing like now he's sitting Kenneth Walker for Charbonnet. Like
yeah, because
this is
Trevor gets
just
a touchdown.
this is what we're doing now. And like, oh man, I know he's kicking himself for the trade that he made. Like, there's no way he's feeling good about that right now. But yeah, this team is tough. But in one positive note, Saquon, I feel like has like the path. I see a path, I guess, outside of his injury, but I see a path to him like turning it around. Like you saw how good he did last week, and yeah, that was kind of an outlier. He has had some good weeks this season. Actually, he's had more good weeks than bad, really.
But this
But
was the fourth pick of the draft.
I know, and that's why. But I'm saying this is my argument to why I think he has a path to like still be good. Like I think he has a path to still be an RB1, to still be like maybe some good value for him moving forward. I wasn't super high on Saquon coming into the season. Every year when a guy has like a career year, best season of his life, like the chances of him doing anything close to that again are so low. And he had the Madden curse. It's just everything was against him. But all that to say, I do think Saquon has a path to like still be okay, still be good. But yeah, outside of that, this team is in shambles right now. This looks bad. And Rasheed Rice is back, so Worthy's plummeting. I mean, holy moly.
Yeah, I mean Worthy hasn't even been good even without Rasheed. He had one good week. He was what the oops, Jesus, sorry. He was the fourth round pick of Lubasi. I know he did get hurt, the first play of the game in week one. But even without Rice in the next, 3 games he was actually played, I mean, that's not really that good. I was not high on Worthy at all. I knew Rice was coming back, and I didn't even think he was that great. Um, but I don't know. I mean, I love Lubasa.
This team is tough, man. This is tough.
It's tough to look at.
This is
Not his best year. He needs to do something different next year. He's
you
still got a
know
shot. Don't get us wrong,
your
but
team is bad when you've got all of the number one waiver wire pickups from like the last 6 weeks. All the guys that everyone's talking about as the best waiver pickup as like the number one guy you got to get. He's got all of them on his team.
he
He's
does.
got Rico. He's got Gadsden. I mean, this guy's just been scooping that waiver wire up.
He's been a hawk. I mean, he's gotten the number one every single time. Oh no, Rudy actually has, but I know. I mean, Hampton really screwed his season because if you think of this, if he doesn't make let's say Hampton doesn't get hurt, Hampton was doing really good before his injury,
He
and he
was.
doesn't do my trade because the only reason he did my trade is because Hampton got hurt and he was freaking out about his running backs. But you have Josh Allen, Saquon, Hampton, and then those two receivers are pretty good. I just shit on them, but they're all right.
They're
But
all
if
right when you have other guys that are putting
right,
up hella
exactly,
points. Yeah.
exactly. So if he has, if he doesn't do that trade and Hampton is healthy, I mean, he did start 2-0, and he just like racked off just so many. I think he had 5 losses in a row, and then he just got the win last week.
That's exactly
He's
what
probably
happened.
he's probably a 4-4, maybe a 5-3 team, and we're having a different conversation because his team would actually be middle of the pack, maybe getting into the playoffs. But his season went so downhill so fast. He probably didn't even know what happened. He woke up one morning and just looked at his team and was like, "Holy shit, what the fuck just happened?"
I still think that trade was so unnecessary, or like I feel like, and I said something about this in our group chat too. Like I feel like he could have got so much better value out of trying to sell Josh Allen if that's what he was going to do. And like, because you could have got better running backs than the Seahawks guys. Like he could have got a true RB1, I think, out of that trade. And he traded for a committee. I think that was a blip on
I mean,
the.
he tried getting more value. Nobody was going. I mean, I knew all his trades. I think we talked about it in the last podcast, but
Well,
he was
okay,
probably
even outside of that, he
he
could have
probably did it
just
too
kept it
fast.
the way it was.
Yeah.
I don't think he got any better from doing that.
Well, if you don't have Charbonnet, who are you playing this week? Justice Hill. I mean, your running back 2 would be terrible. I mean, your running back 1. I mean, he had a trade
Okay,
4
well,
weeks.
yeah,
That was games. But I mean, I get
sure.
what you're saying. I'm not trying to argue with your logic, but his
For
RB
this week
core.
because Saquon's out, but when Saquon comes, he'd have
Right.
Saquon and Rico Dowdle. Like that's not a bad couple of
Well,
running
this was
backs,
before Rico. He had Rico, and Rico was Rico.
but he would have still got Rico, like regardless of whether he makes that trade with you.
Yeah, I mean, anything could have happened. I think that was a week or two afterwards. But
Well,
I mean, I get what you're saying.
yeah.
But
Either way, he's had a rough go. That's
yeah,
we'll leave it at that. And
yeah,
I
rough
am
go.
officially just to let it be known, I am changing my power rankings. I'm swapping Chris and Lubasi. First time you've ever seen it here first. I am making a live power ranking change. Chris is going from 12 to 11. Lubasi is going from
Well,
11 to 12.
sorry, Lubasi, but it's been a tough year. We'll see you next year. Well, I mean, like I think he still has like an 8% chance to get in the playoffs. But it's actually funny. We were looking at this team, and he has all his guys are away this week, which doesn't bode well usually.
Who's he
Uh,
playing?
he is playing Rudy.
Oh, dude, Rudy's gonna wax him.
He's gonna wax him. Um, but let's see. He has a 9%. Yeah, he has a 9% chance. So
Everyone still has a shot right now, like
everyone does.
statistically.
Yes. Reality maybe a little different, but statistically, everyone does have a shot. So we'll end the podcast. I'm curious to see your 6 playoff teams. Let's get that out there. First, do who you think wins Chris's division, who you think wins Jeff's division, and then the 4 extra teams that you have going in. It doesn't have to be in any order. You could just do the 2 winners and then just the 4 you have.
All right. Well, I listed them out in my seeds.
Oh, okay. I did not.
So I
Better.
have the one seed from Chris's division. I went with James.
Ooh, okay.
The one seed from Jeff's division. I went with myself.
Oh,
I think I have a good shot to win that division again, assuming everyone stays healthy. Praise God. My three seed, I have Johnny, who I am sure you don't even have in the playoffs right now, with as low as you ranked him. But I have Johnny with the three seed. I have Big Jim with the four seed. I have Chewy at the five seed, and then I have Jeff rounding us out with the last spot in the playoffs at the sixth seed.
okay. So that means Jeff would go against who was your third seed?
So the matchups would be, or I guess the first round matchups, it would be Jeff
Right.
versus Johnny and Chewy versus Jimmy.
That'd be a good. That'd be a good. That'd be a good first round. So ours is a little different. I know I've been glazing James's team, but I actually have Jimmy winning Chris's division. I think just that extra win he has right now um, comes into a factor. So I put Jimmy at the number one seed, and actually have Chewy as the winner on Jeff's division. And then I have you, Ryan's team, Trace Company, and then I have James. I have, you're going to be shocked at this, but I have Johnny. I think being at 5-3, I think he still at least gets the sixth seed. Even if he does run out of gas, he should probably still find a couple more wins. But I'm not scared of that team if I see him in the playoffs. And then I'm rounding out the number six seed because I got to put myself in there. But I do think I still have a shot. I think whoever wins this week's matchup between me and Jeff gets that last spot.
Yeah, I this was again like I was talking how like debating you and Jeff on the six and seven spot. It was the same thing for the sixth seed. Like I do
Mhm.
think if if all health and injuries stay equal as of right now, I think you guys could be fighting for that last spot to get in. Um, but yeah, so basically we have the same playoffs except you and Jeff.
Right. Yeah. I told you I wanted to throw a curveball at the power rankings. I know Johnny, I probably put Johnny a little lower than I probably should have. But I think he will sustain enough to get in the playoffs. And I think he's a first round loser, but we'll see. But you can't, like I said, you can't really argue with what he's done. So you gotta keep thinking he'll do it until he runs out of steam. Like I can predict that he's gonna run out of steam, but until he does, I gotta think of what I have and what he's done. Um, but it's fun to say that Johnny's
Yeah,
got the best
and
team
I'm
in the league.
hoping that like I know you got Chewy winning this division, but I'm hoping that like if I can get healthy and like get some wins stacked up and it comes down to it, like I do have a win over Chewy, so hopefully that will
Do you
bolster
play
me
him
over
again?
him. Huh?
Do you play him again?
I don't think I do.
No, no. You could play him week 14 though, because this is a playoff game. So if you're both 1 and 2, you'll play Chewy. Which that week, seeing how close the standing is, that week is going to be like freaking huge.
It's gonna
It's
be
gonna
a
be,
crazy week.
that will be it will be a crazy week, and that week will probably dash some hopes of playoffs. Will dash? I mean, it will dash some hopes
Oh my
because
god.
it's going to
I,
be crazy.
I got Drake May on a bye that week.
Yeah, I got like two people on a buy as well.
Why do we have week
So
14 buys? That's crazy.
yeah, that's gonna be big, and especially if you play like Chewy, 1 and 2, or you kind of maybe want to be third rank so you can play the fourth rank so you can win and still like get in.
Yeah, I'm gonna be so basically I need to be in playoff position before we get to that
Yes,
final game because I don't want to be a winning in situation coming into week 14. That's gonna be
or
That's going to be a dicey game.
Stressful. Yeah, because if you lose and you lose and you're not in the playoffs, you're going to be sweating, you know, or till that last, play of the game, whichever game you got. But yeah, this was a fun podcast. I think we wanted to do something a little different. Usually just look at the games, but I feel like this we'll get some conversations going and see if Johnny listens. I'm sure he'll text me about how wrong I am, which is fun. I had Chewy doing that the same thing to me. Week 2 or 3 when ESPN ranked him, the 11th or 12th best team, and he was getting mad at me. But it is what it is. It's all fun and games.
I'd much rather people comment on the video, comment on the Facebook post, comment in our group chat. Like, let's get some talk going, some chatter. I feel like this league, like, we never have any conversation going throughout the season. Like, no one's ever talking anything. Like, maybe people are texting individually, but
They text me a lot.
let's get some league conversation going. Tell us what you think about the power rankings, the playoff seeding, like why we're wrong, if you think we're wrong, why you're gonna make it, or why you should be ranked higher. Like let's get some discourse going. I want
Yeah, there you go.
to see some people firing off mad about something. Like, come
Right.
on,
Be
get
confident in the team.
some league chatter, talk some shit about your team.
Yeah, it will make it a lot better. Be a lot more fun. We'll get the group chat going maybe this week. This is a big week. I know this is a huge podcast or a long podcast, but last thing we'll talk about is just look at these week 9 games. Me and Jeff 4-4. You got Johnny and Chris. Then you got another James and Jimmy, who are number 1 and 2 in my power rankings, go head to head. This is a huge game for that number 1 seed, probably. Just looking at both of our power rankings and where we think these teams will end up. So that's a huge game. And you got the Toilet Bowl and Rudy and Ubasi. But then you got Dom and Chewy. Chewy needs a win bad. Dom's getting, his injury team. This is a perfect time to play him. And then you and Nick, who are 1 and 2 in our division, or Jeff's division. So this is a huge week. And next week we'll be talking maybe a little differently on how we look at the rest of the season.
Yeah, I am. I'm a little bit nervous. I got all my Bucks on bye this week. Hopefully, I can piece together some semblance of a team before I get Bucky back next week. Hopefully, but this is a big week. I need a win bad. That win versus you would have been unbelievably huge to get that on my worst bye, but didn't get it. So got to get a win this week. But yeah, we got some heavy hitting matchups going this week that could definitely change the standings around quite a bit.
We definitely do. And if you lose this week, then you're going to be in that do or die kind of win out scenario, depending if you're 4-4, especially if you're 4-4, because if you're 4-5, you kind of need that win out mode. You're kind of starting to think that and be in it. So I need to win.
Yeah, we definitely got some teams that are on the brink of getting a little nervous. And this is a big week. I'm going to be dialed into these games on Sunday. I'm pretty excited to sit down and watch some football. But yeah, hopefully everybody enjoyed this little pod format that you put together here, and hopefully we get a little chatter going. You got any closing thoughts before we hop out of here?
Big week. Yeah, we'll get some chatter going. We'll see. I don't know. I hate talking shit because I know fantasy is a cruel game. It's a cruel fucking game.
That's probably why no one talks shit, because everyone's like, I know as soon as I do, like, my team's going to just go down the shitter.
Yes, I could be up, 20 points in projection, after the 4 o'clocks and still lose. And if I talk shit and I lose, I'm going to be looking mighty salty.
That can definitely happen. So, you know what? Sometimes you just got to stand on business, though. Just talk your shit, and if it goes bad, then oh well. Try again next time.
Punch. Yep.
All right, guys. I think that's going to do it for us for this week. Good luck to everybody in week 9. Can't wait to see what the standings look like after this week. And we will hopefully be back at you again next week.
Peace.